but I'm actually gonna pause and see if there's anything to point out. I didn't actually watch WCS Summer Live, so... I for a second was like, huh, who are we watching? They're really kind of spamming their keys and doing all this stuff. Like, wow, who do they think they are? It's HeRoMaRinE up against Elazer. Like, I zoned out and forgot what I was doing for a sec. So I'm gonna give him a pass on this one. All right. HeRoMaRinE gets a pass. We're not angry coaching HeRoMaRinE. We're learning from him. Because we just saw a TVZ. Okay, everybody calm down. So he sets up his camera locations beforehand. Was this a gas first? It was not. Adding a Marine on immediately. And I think, like, this... What I've really been looking at, it's a little easier for me with first-person VODs, because you can see the mouse moving and stuff. I really wish they had done the eye tracker on the first person, as opposed to having, like, the caster overlay for WCS, but... Because I would definitely like to see, like, eye tracker and first person, but this is the closest you can get with a replay. Because replay files are just lines of text, which is why they're so relatively tiny. So what I want to point out, I think HeRoMaRinE is one of the best players to demonstrate this, but later on I will show you specifically, how much that is happening while you're looking at whatever you're microing. Whatever it looks like he's tunnel visioning, down here. This is, if you truly want to be both either one, impressed, or two, learn, down here. Not up here. Eyes, the real action's down here. Okay. Even if the Reaper's being microed or something like that, that's fluff. Oh, nice snipe there. Notice how Elazer Zerg players, by the way, little details like that. Elazer hid the creep tumor, the first creep tumor, behind the high ground vision blocker. Nice little sloppy. In order to block, well, so the Reaper couldn't get to it without getting in range and easily dying to a queen. So this is very quick stim with a Liberator. And Hellion Marine. So the Hellion Marine is on the high ground. We'll talk about this. And I can't speak. And HeRoMaRinE does commentary on his stream. And there is a small chance that anything I say, because I'm not nearly as good as HeRoMaRinE, could be wrong. But most stuff is basic common sense. A lot of it I don't do because I'm just too slow. But leaving the Hellion and Marine on the high ground instead of on the low ground, it's relatively subtle, but if there happen to be 16 or 20 lings that come out, if you have them on the low ground, even if it's near the mineral line, then there's a chance that all your units get surrounded and killed. Just that extra time to react and be on high ground out of vision range. There is very likely, I don't know if we saw it earlier, is there an Overlord right here? Let me go to... No, there isn't. I don't know if he was spotting for it. Have any Overlords been killed yet? Not as of yet. But interesting for Elazer, he doesn't send out OVs. So this is what a lot of Terran players do. Can I just put a disclaimer at the start? Whenever I say high-level Terran or players do, I'm talking about high-level players and then myself when I'm playing well, or at least what I attempt to do. And I don't do it that well, and I'm not very good, but that's... You just give me the benefit of the doubt here. Otherwise, why are you here, right? Like, those original units, these first units, the Hellions, the Reaper itself, the Hellions, spotting for Overlords as well. Like, you just take note of them. You get an idea, you get a count on them as well. Is there an Overlord at the front? Is there going to be an Overlord over towards the right side? Where can I send my Liberator? Does it have to go straight across? A lot of players, like, we'll see here if HeRoMaRinE does it. But he may clear the area, like, clear the vision for the Liberator. Seeing an Overlord at the front. Clear the vision with Hellions and Reaper to... Oh, this is actually quite sloppy to start from HeRoMaRinE. So that way, an Overlord and Zerglings are less likely to spot it, because at this level, most Zerg players will have a few Zerglings out on the map to spot whatever your first starport unit is. Going up to the very north side with that Liberator. This is actually 3 racks before a 3rd CC, so this is really intending on putting pressure. This is about the cheapest tech early that keeps you safe. The 111, the Barracks Factory Starport, it keeps you safe, it gives you options, but here HeRoMaRinE is relying on his Marines, believe it or not. And having a handful of Hellions, what was this, like 4, maybe 6 total, and a single Liberator, so you're not even investing in an additional tech lab early on, like you're really just doing whatever you can. And remember, his macro is down here, not up here. Eyes down here. No matter what you see happen on the screen. Eyes down here.
Complete.
Wait, does he have his tech lab hotkeys? I don't believe so, but queuing up that stim.
Research.
Stim finishing at 5:30. So take note of that. The Marines on the high ground in case there's a big Bane bus coming through as well. So HeRoMaRinE has managed to do a 1-1-1, not a 2-1-1, a 1-1-1 with Liberator, Hellions, and still have a double medevac drop at 5:40. Going straight into the double medevac drop is 5 minutes. So, with good management and planning, he's been able to do that early tech opening, deny scouting, and put pressure on, and be less than a minute slower than your normal, like, straight-up pressure. But he did not, like, he's 100% on top of his production facilities, getting barracks 2 and 3 on time without, like, a lot of players will queue up too much or skip units or build extra depots. You really have to focus on not queuing up, but also at the same time, not skipping things like depots. Alright, the macro was down here. Remember. Gonna lose that Liberator. So, this is something. This is the key part here that a lot of Diamond players aren't looking for. Okay, what's happening out here? How much damage are you getting done? HeRoMaRinE, he's got, what, 12 Marines? 13 Marines? 14 Marines, 2 medevacs, and 2 Hellions. But back at home, there's already another 10 Marines with more finishing up. Actually, I think this is a little sloppy. Wait, did he not have more medevacs? I think that's a mistake. This is actually a mistake out of HeRoMaRinE here. He's been a little sloppy. I believe this was game 1, but he's been a little sloppy on his early units. He actually should have 2 medevacs with this. I don't know why there are not 2 more medevacs to be able to pick up these units and send them out again. You machine gun Contra for 10 months. Yeah, I think those 2 medevacs are a bit of a mistake here, because you really want to have the ability to put on some more pressure, and that's going to hurt him. And by mistake, I mean they're like 20 seconds late. Remember when GSL chat wasn't all spam and balance wine? No, I don't. When was this magical time? I do not remember that. I remember when it wasn't GSL, it was GOM TV. But I do not remember a time when GSL chat wasn't spam and balance fine. I don't know what magical alternate dimension you live in. Oh, and now the big brain. This is the big brain depot that I did a whole video on and then promptly never applied to my play. So look at the barracks rallies here. Onto this depot. Why would you rally onto a depot? So here's the beauty of this. When you rally onto the depot, your units rally to the depot, obviously. But if the depot dies, what happens? So what scenario does the depot die? A big attack, right? Like a big attack, possibly while you're out on the map microwing. Depot dies. If whatever your rally point is set to dies, then the rally point cuts off and resets. That means if there's a big counterattack that kills this depot, then the rally point will reset to the default, which is the barracks themselves, which is the main base. It's kind of a failsafe. And it makes it so maybe you have a few more units that survive a big counterattack. So, biggest brain, that can and sometimes will be the difference between winning and losing, like having another 10, 15 Marines rallied in the right spot as opposed to dying to Zerglings is a big difference. Yeah, this is kind of a shaky game. And by shaky game, I mean things are like 5-10 seconds off for HeRoMaRinE here. But at this, like, we're in WCS right now. So 5-10 seconds is 3 minutes of Diamond League. Okay, not 3 minutes, like a minute. Wait, I actually want to go back. I said I'll be picking these apart. I've seen on the few videos I've done of the actual breakdowns, not the first-person casting, but the actual breakdowns. Stop pausing the game. I'm trying to watch the game. Okay, you're pausing when I was just trying to watch. This is bad entertainment. Well, too bad. The next important thing is the timing of Barracks 4 and 5. Like, Barracks 2 and 3 we already established. But Barracks 4 and 5, when they're added on, like, as the third base is finishing up here, around 100 supply, 50 SCVs, I don't really, like, I rarely use build orders past, like, 30 supply. Like, using supply is fine, but it becomes harder and harder to stick to the build. If you tie it into other things, then it's much more resilient. Like, for example, my third base is finishing, and I'm pressuring, like, my combat shield is finishing up. I've got 50 SCVs. It's time for Barracks 4 and 5. Or I'm pressuring with my first double medevac drop, and I have 100 supply. It's time for Barracks 4 and 5. Like, those are different things you can tie it to. So that way, even if you lose a bunch, or you do a bunch of damage and something weird happens, it's time for Barracks 4 and 5, right? How you doing, Zan? Gifting to the communities. The lucky freeloaders. I like the OW in the name. The passion. How about that roll queue? I may actually play again. I'm retired. And you got Mega Map as well. Oh yeah. How are you doing?
Oh, you are now in my service.
Missing you? Yeah, I've been distant lately.
You are now in my service.
Ready for dust off.
Playing too much Underlords. Okay, why am I speeding this up here?
You are now in my
It
service.
can get hard to concentrate on. A little bit of a supply block. Also, so this is something that I need to apply more, and I think a lot of players underestimate the value of, unless they're Bronze League heroes and they very Overwatch. Not Overwatch, Freudian slip. You got me thinking about Overwatch. Overestimate the value of walling off with depots. Like, sometimes you'll see innovation. Innovation will be like, oh, I'm taking a 4th base. Well, then I'm going to wall off this whole area and this whole area and this whole area with depots. It's like, okay, maybe that's a little much. But just, it's kind of like how a diamond or, well, this is more of a platinum Protoss thing. Protoss versus Zerg. They build their gateway and their cybercore in their main, but then just take a nexus. It's like, did you even want to defend it, or are you just scared of commitment? I think it's the second one. Nice counterattack there. This is a very, like, straight up bio pressure here. This is huge Marine production. Classical Terran. Okay, can we break down that split? Let's see if we can see where the clicks are. They're just big. You can't see exactly the mouse moves, but okay, everything's selected here. It looks like he's selecting, yeah, the entire hotkey. Widowmine's hotkeyed separately. These are just mouse boxes. You can tell because medevacs are also getting selected in. So a little sloppy in a perfect world, an Alpha Star world with unlimited APM, the medevacs would continue healing while the Marines are being split back. But you can tell that's just him. Just a little bit here, a little bit there, making it more difficult. And he hit right as 1-1 finished. Like, when did this engagement happen compared to HeRoMaRiNE's 1-1? Okay, so 1-1 finishes now. He actually wanted to be across the map. He had to deal with the counterattack. So the fact he's hitting such a sharp timing, he's ahead on supply, and he's hitting before a laser has his 1-1. There's a 10-second, 15-second window. But he's out there on the map pressuring. Though, a little... So, this is interesting. This is how you know pro gamers are actually just noobs. So first, HeRoMaRiNE hard supply blocked at 133. No depots on the way, but he's gonna fix that. Whereas Elazer, the opposite problem. He's got 200 supply, making another Overlord. So he's wasted money on Overlords, and where HeRoMaRiNE is supply blocked. So this is a high pressure game here. Behind this, 62 CVs. Yeah. The lack of, actually, like, the supply block is hurting right now. Yeah, that really hurts. Dropping supply. With that supply block, he doesn't quite have the continued production. 2-2 is on the way, nailed the armory timing. So, now he's going to try to pressure a fourth base. Pressure a fourth base, so there's simply not that much production. Ooh. Was that a Burrow Bane mine? He pushed so far on the creep. Yeah. So pushing on the creep is like figure skating. HeRoMaRiNE, a beautiful, like, he's doing the twirls and the double axles and the whatever it is when you do the, like, all that. Whereas I'd be impressed if you could tie your skates correctly. So let's just One step at a time. So the Bane mine hit hard, the Widow mine hit harder. Like, he noticed the Bane mine, right? I'm very surprised. I feel like there's a Baneling mine under this army right now. I don't think HeRoMaRinE noticed the Bane mine. Ooh. Oh. No, there's just Broadlings. Unfortunate. Oh, there's one right there. But I needed to know. Okay, now he definitely saw it. Wait, did he just manually target that mine? I mean, it killed like 12 Marines. That's something, right? That one he just let connect, but yeah, he just lets them connect. But they do end up connecting well if you manage it right. He knows about the burrow here. This is actually just a full-on. How many barracks are we at? We're going to 7 with 2 factories pumping Widow mines. No, wait, no. Get out of the cinematic mode. We're nitty-gritty. Oh, come on here. He keeps getting hit by the Bane mines. He's getting baited. This is actually, like, this has been a messy game from both sides. It's actually super sloppy to get. The first one, okay. The second one, eh. The third one, like, this is getting a little out of hand here.
Ready for dust off.
Upgrade.
Okay, so he's at 9 medevacs. He should have built Liberators earlier. I stand by that. Let me see if I get validated right now. Should have started on Liberators at 6. It can't, like, sometimes you lose them, you're fighting a lot, but it's time for Liberators. Like, now. Or a Ghost Academy, or a Ghost Academy.
Our SCVs are under attack.
That was happening. Oh. So, I actually have experience points on. Experience does nothing in SC2, besides, like, there's some basic leveling up in multiplayer, but it has nothing to do with in-game play. But it's for stuff like that. If you missed it there, the experience point counter stays around longer than the actual bodies of the units. So, this is good for anything pretty much explosive or, like, Baneling related. Because he looked back, the Widow Mine had already hit, but the just sheer amount of experience, I'm gonna go back real quick, but the sheer amount of XP points that pop up, once again, they do nothing besides determine some silly ladder draws, but, or tournament draws rather, but that is why I have them on. Like, you might not get a gauge of exactly what's happening there, but that had, like, he saw that. He saw that. Okay. The burrow. Does the Zerg have a 4th? I'm pretty sure he has a 5th, and maybe a 6th. 4, 5. We'll count that as a 6th, so I look smart. But he is on Hydroling Bane, which eventually drops. Like, if a Terran is maxed out with 3/3, and you're on Hydroling Bane, it's very likely you don't have +3. Elazer is super timing attack oriented. Now, I'm sure HeRoMaRinE knows who he's facing, obviously. Elazer's like, okay, we've got the tech, go, 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 like massive amounts of units. HeRoMaRinE kind of doing the same thing, to be honest. Where Sarah would be like, how do I best get to Hive in a timely manner? Nice little burrow on burrow. Like, you gotta scan, right? Like, notice how he hasn't made a Raven? I feel like maybe he should, but there have been some pretty juicy opportunities for main mines. Little mine drops coming through. Thank you, Asian BRs. Oh, come on, come on. Like, what are you doing? What's happening? Oh, such a sloppy game. In the WCS round of 8. He kills the planetary, but at what cost? It looks great. Like, those are the type of things like, oh, okay, looks like Elazer's got this. But then suddenly, look at this supply. 102 Terran army supply with +3 weapons on the way.
Additional supply depots required. Additional supply depots required.
Oh, the units lost kind of tell the story as well. He's just getting more and more cost effective. If you're a laser, not a laser, if you're HeRoMaRinE here, yeah, there we go. Ranged liberators, advanced ballistics, +3. Maybe a scan to the main. Wait, did he scan the main lately? He scanned for a lair. It might be time to scan for a hive. I think he's assuming a hive, but time to scan for a hive. I guess ranged liberators kind of counter whatever hive there is. Thank you, Uzel. 25 months. Laser really trying to force those Bane mines. How did that... Wait, what? How did that happen? Sneaky Zerglings. Wow.
Base is under attack.
There has to be a burrow somewhere around there, right?
Upgrade complete.
Liberation is at hand.
5 liberators at a time. Like, he's not trickling out liberators. Liberation is at hand now.
Our SCVs are under attack.
These Zerglings acting like a campaign mission.
Upgrade complete. Upgrade complete.
Also, notice this little wall by HeRoMaRinE. Funneling Zerglings into essentially a trap.
Are under attack.
This is actually getting a real out of hand here. Liberators are great units, though. The laser is definitely biting off a lot. Well, he's got ultras on the way. We don't know that. HeRoMaRinE doesn't know that. Ranged liberators. One ranged liberator, just as good as dozens of Zerglings. It's literally untouchable. It's out of range of ground units in some situations. It gets, like, it's killed 11. It's killed 11 drones now. It's that one liberator that he finds a position for. Oh, okay. Rip Queens. And then suddenly... Where are you going with those? He's going through the liberation zone. I mean, there's just one liberator. So, as a man once said, a Zerg, when I'm really far ahead and I want to lose, I make ultras. Now, there have been significant buffs.
Base is under attack.
There have been significant buffs to Liberator since that point. And not Liberators. Well, yes, Liberators, but to Ultralists. But most of the point still applies. They're not really a unit you want to rely on to win the game. They can bully your opponent and push them around, but even if they have speed and they're no longer paperlisks, but they're Usain Boltralisks,
Liberation is at hand.
they are still... You better have the money, is the summary. Like, you better have the money. Is he actually going Cyclones to counter them, or was that just a random clone? Because technically, Cyclones with the upgrade are pretty good, but they're just not very good against Zerglings, so... I think Elazer definitely overextended here. He, HeRoMaRinE held the line. He was very confident with his bio. And, well,
Base is under attack.
these Zerglings, it's a campaign mission. Are we gonna see ghosts here? Oh my god. Oh my god. You can hear it. You can hear the Widowmine heads.
These are under attack.
By the way, look at HeRoMaRinE moving his army. He's already moving it into position to potentially defend or straight up counterattack. He didn't just send select all army, everybody go to the 4th. Or 5th. 5th base.
It's go time.
He took just enough units and then the rest are out on the map. Is it time for ghosts, or is he just going to go for it? Because if you see infestors, either you got to really put the pressure on so they don't catch you out, or you go ghosts to counter direct. Oh, what a pre-split. And a liberator. Look, 8 kills, 9 kills, 10 kills. He's like, whatever. It'll die to the spore, but so will, well, a bunch of drones are gonna go down. This is an interesting scenario. Liberators will be cleared out, but most of the ground up. 15 drones on that one liberator. What's the worker count? Yeah, 60 drones for a laser. Like, that's not a sustainable economy. Elazer. So here's the thing. I think HeRoMaRinE and Elazer both play very similar, like, styles for their race. HeRoMaRinE very timing attack oriented with Terran, and Elazer very timing attack oriented, like, and by timing attack I mean actual timing attacks, like, we're gonna have this many units at this time, and we're really just gonna send it. But Terran is usually better suited to it. Like, if the two styles clash, Terran's going to be more cost-effective. The differences come from, like, if Zerg can either get damage done early or survive attacks until they get overwhelming forces. But HeRoMaRinE, they kind of just went at it, and let's bring up the units lost. Kind of tells the story. 951 versus 375. I'm seeing HeRoMaRinE tab to the libs on his main army, then instantly only have them selected. I mean, you can use steel hotkeys. Steel hotkeys, if you set them up, I actually have them set up, so I can show you. Notice how I don't have control groups bound. Well, guess what? So if you have this, set a control group and take away units. So that means, say, you have this, you tab to your Marines, press Control 3 on just your Marines, or Control click, or whatever, what have you, because he might be just clicking with his mouse, we can't see it, and then hit another hotkey, then they're on their own. They've been stolen. They will no longer be in any other groups. They will be in the group you just added. So, It's very nice, especially for things like drops and single harass units. I've just completely overwritten my create control group with steel, which it helps 9 out of 10 times. 1 out of 10 times it kind of screws you over, but when you think about it, are there any legitimate scenarios where you want to have overlapping hotkeys? Like, kind of, but that can't be solved by just doing 1 or 2 more actions and moving all the units together.